Engines engaged. Landing gear retracted. Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1, engage. Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1, engage. Docking request denied. Docking request granted. Landing gear deployed. Docking successful. Engines disengaged.
Greetings, Commanders, and welcome to episode 101 of Lay Radio, the show that talks about the universe of Elite and the fantastic community that surrounds it. I'm your host, Second Technician Fozzer Forrester, and joining me in the Orange Sidewinder for this episode are...
I'm Ben Moss Woodward, otherwise known as Commander Adel of Ice.
I'm Colin Ford, otherwise known as Commander Phoenix to Fire.
And I'm Grant Wilcott, otherwise known as the Pain in the Bum Commander.
It is obviously the the 101 episode 101, and obviously we know about Room 101, so this week we're going to find out what the hosts would really like to put in Room 101, starting with Mr. Wolcott.
Yeah, well, this is something that'll be familiar to a lot of people. That speeding limit that you have as you're exiting the station, you know, that wonderful speeding limit that they introduced, and it was great because it stopped the big T9, well, it stopped a lot of fun. It stopped T9 squishing Sidewinders into the toast track. However, it's led to something that I would love to see deleted from the game, and in fact, I think, you know, there's no argument at all, Foz. I think everybody will agree with me. This is a guaranteed shoe-in for 101, absolutely definite, and that is when you're rammed by a system authority vehicle that's scanning you for crimes, and they hit you, and then they fine you for it. It's ridiculous. It's the worst kind of police abuse of power I have ever seen, and deserves to be deleted from the game and then shoved up some developer's backside just because it's their fault.
Okay, so the speeding limit in the docking bay, and also police misusing the new speed limit to get you to have additional fines. Is that what we're saying?
Not the speed limit. The speed limit is fine. Otherwise, I'll go back to my old habits of squishing NPCs in the side of the docking slot, which is, although it's fun, I agree that that's a sensible thing to have in-game. But no, the cops being able to fine me when they ram into me, that's what should be stopped.
Okay.
I think that it's a perfectly fine mechanic. I think that the cops are actually working on a bonus scheme. The more fines they get, the better they get paid.
So you're saying that they're kind of like parking meter wardens?
But with bigger guns.
That's to suggest that a parking meter warden jumps in your car, reverses it onto the double yellow lines, and then tickets you for being on the double yellow lines. That's what was happening here. They're ramming you and fining you. They don't even pay you for the damage that they cause. No. And I fly with no shields, so it's upsetting.
Have you not seen any parking wardens in minis? They bounce them onto the double yellow lines.
Okay, so we'll take overzealous police enforcement officers. Colin, what have you got for us?
Well, I've got a little bit of a bugbear that I've had since Alpha, really. You know when you're in a nav beacon and you spot a wanted ship, so you go after it, and you hit its cargo hatch, and out comes tons and tons of lovely booty that you'd like to be able to scoop. You can't, because it is marked as illegal salvage, even though the person who was doing dropping the cargo is wanted. And that to me just feels wrong. If he is wanted, that means his cargo should be up for grabs after the ship is gone. It's not, well, it's kind of bounty hunty piracy, if you see what I mean. But I still feel that, hang on, you've broken the law, your cargo, when it ejects, that should be legal salvage.
Okay, no, I think it's a fair point. Ben, what's your final point to maybe go in room 101?
Well, see, I think all these things, they're all stuff that Frontier know about. You know, for Room 101, we really need to take something which Frontier maybe acknowledge, maybe it's by design, and it's not something they say, you know, we're going to fix that, whatever. So what I want to put in Room 101 are the complete and utter dicks of the player base.
Okay, you want to explain that a little bit further?
I would very happily explain that a little bit further. I think, you know, I really dislike the selfish players, the ones who only think about themselves. They don't care what anyone else is wanting to do, so long as they have fun. You know, I accept they're allowed to have fun, but don't do it on my time.
Okay, so you're basically talking about player-based griefing.
Basically.
That does sound a little bit like, you know, your typical, you know, internet granddad moaning about his slippers being a bit too cold there.
You
Really?
can do it on your time, that's fair enough.
Oh dear, he's been griefed in the last 48 hours, hasn't he?
I've not. I told Foster about this over a week ago. Well, maybe
It's
not.
lasted a week. He's been building for a week this one.
Oh dear. Okay, so let's just sort of back up here. So Grant, we've got system authority ships ramming you at stations and fining you for it. Colin, we've got wanted ships dropping cargo that you can't scoop because it's marked as illegal. And Ben, you've got people who only care about themselves and don't give a monkeys about about your playstyle or about the fact that their playstyle can adversely affect your game. Basically, player killing dicks, otherwise known as griefing. So we've got griefing, we've got unscoopable cargo, and we've got overzealous system authority ships.
Actually, griefers have got their own room already.
Really?
Yeah, the ghosting instance, you know? The shame instance that they all go to.
But do they, though? I mean, this is a larger topic and one that keeps on getting raised, but have we actually seen any evidence of that sort of, that phantom zone that all these griefers are supposed to be going to?
The shadow ban.
In the shadow ban.
Sounds like a new DC series, doesn't it?
I quite like it being the phantom zone. Okay, well, I'm having a mull over it here. I think I'm going to go for... Grant, you know, the system authority ships, it's a good point, you know, but I do think it adds an extra element of game into the Elite Dangerous universe of seeing that ship coming towards you and knowing full well you've got to jam your ship into reverse and move away from it. The same way that we have to do with parking attendants, you know, reversing down the street so they can't put that ticket on your windscreen, so therefore can't find you. So I think that's a little bit of fun that Frontier are having with you, so I'm going to say no to the system authority ships going into Room 101.
Yeah.
And then I'm afraid griefing has literally been like a broken record on this show and on the forums and everything over the last month or so, and I'm so sick of hearing about it. I can't possibly put it into Room 101, I'm afraid. So that means that Room 101 is going to be Colin and the wanted ships dropping cargo you can't scoop, because I'm absolutely with you on that. It's never made any sense whatsoever that, you know, if a pirate is trying to kill you and you end up sort of being the victor and vanquishing your foe, then you get fined for stealing his cargo.
This is clearly a fix. It's clearly your Scottish slant, hey? Just, side with the Scotsman.
Yeah, because that's obviously the case, because I'm not outnumbered on this podcast at all this week. But I mean, it makes perfect sense. What even if you couldn't just sort of go and hand in that cargo and maybe not get the same amount of value for it, maybe get half the value, and say, look, you know, this guy attacked me, he's got some stolen cargo, here I am returning it, give me my, you know, finder's reward or anything. But no, what do? They slap a massive, great big fine on you. So I think the annoyance factor of that and the fact it just doesn't make any goddamn sense. That one, wanted ship dropping cargo you can't scoop, goes into Room 101 this week.
Yay!
Excellent, and with that what we'll do is we will go to a quick advert and then we're going to sort out our ships in the open arena and try and get some crystals on board, and when we come back we'll talk a little bit about the latest development news.
I was overseeing the delivery of some slaves to the starport in Exios, and a cleaning robot had just washed the floor, but not left a warning sign. I had to run after a slave that was escaping, and I slipped and fractured my wrist. I was delayed for 10 whole minutes while the Medicomp repaired the damage. My time is billable. Can I get compensation?
Yes, you can.
I was on a regular trading run back to Sol, and it was my job to repaint the outside of the ship. I was given the wrong kind of EVA clamps. Nothing bad actually happened, but it did give me a fright. Can I get compensation?
Yes, you can.
I was checking some robots through customs when I distinctly heard an official call the robots clanks. I was deeply offended, even though I'm not a robot myself. That's their word. You're not allowed to use it. Can I claim for moral outrage?
Yes, you can. At Cowell and McGrath, we are now taking any kind of legal action. No case too small, no justification too frivolous. If you've been lightly inconvenienced, embarrassed, or in any way put out, then someone should be made to give you money. Don't be a stupid clank.
Excuse me?
Cowell and McGrath, taking on any case, playing the percentages.
Okay, so just quickly picking up through newsletter.
I think you're getting a
114.
drink, Fozzer.
I'm going to get a drink. I'm just going to queue it all up for you. But yeah, so just going quickly through newsletter 114, just a few of the hot topics that we picked out. In fact, I'm going to let Ben pick out the hot topics for you, whilst I go and quickly grab a drink.
You go get that drink. I was all ready to come right in, but no. Right, well, anyway, with newsletter 114, we had a bunch of things, as Evan mentioned, but the first up was they've reintroduced the peak of the week, not the pick of the week, with the Galaxy Map bookmark. So basically, when we eventually get 2.1, and we'll be covering the eventually later, but when we eventually get it, we're going to be getting some bookmarks in there which allow us to go off and say, this is where I managed to get my blood crystals from, and it's an awesome thing, and we can plot routes to it, and we can... It looks fairly basic, to be honest. It looks about what you'd expect from a bookmark. You can rename it, you can jump to it, and it's a bookmark. That sounds about what we want, really, isn't it? Does anyone else?
Right, it'll
Anything with
save on Sidewinders.
It'll save on Sidewinders, that's always a good thing. But, could this be a decrease in the sale of the trusty Sidewinder?
Well, it's obviously going to.
It affects sales, isn't it? You know what? It's still not quite what we'd love to see, is it? It's just, bookmarks are really, really handy, and it's nice to sort of stick a big pin in the map and say, right, that's where I found that awesome thing on that planet there. So it's really good to be able to do that. However, would we not still prefer to have a commander's log that you can go to and it says where you were and what you did there, and then you just click on the link and it takes you back to that, the star map, and so on and so forth? Would that not be the sort of next progression for this, which would be what we really want? We really want that kind of, here's my commander's story, here's where I crashed, it's all documented in that beautiful little commander's log.
Well, yeah, we don't like that, but they've just put bookmarks in. And as far as I'm concerned, that's a small step in the right direction. Yeah, we don't like that, but I think they're, as we shall come on to at a later point, I think they're a bit busy with other things.
To be honest, we've already got that in some respects with the Elite Dangerous Star Map grant, which is on www.edsm.net. You can go off and link that, and I can go onto my account and I can see that I've had over 3,216 logs in the past few weeks, actually.
Your backside must hurt.
Not from flying.
Oh dear.
Sorry, this isn't Dockers, is it?
No, we're that's coming soon.
We can see all these things. Yeah, we can see all these things already. Is there a market for something? Should Frontier put in other tools to the job that's already taking place? Or have they got, as Colin said, have they got enough other things to be getting on with?
Well, yeah, it'd be nice though to have that kind of thing in game. We all know that, because the last thing that you want really is to go to an external tool when you're inside the game. I hate to mention the I word here, but it would be nice to have these kind of things at your fingertips in the HUD.
You didn't mention the I word.
The I word.
You didn't mention the I word. You didn't. You were going to. Well, okay, maybe you were alluding to the I word.
Of course, I was alluding to the I word. We know that when we mentioned the I word. I'm sure a developer dies.
Well, I think bookmarks are important, and one of the things that would be very, very handy, because for the quick point of view, if you're doing a missions run or something, to go, well, actually that was a really good trade route. I'm going to stick a big bookmark in it just now with a wee note next to it, so that I know that bookmark's about. But after 6 months, when you've got 750 bookmarks, they become redundant. But one of the important things I hope they can include is the ability to share that bookmark with somebody in game. Whether or not
you're asking.
whether or not you wing up with that commander, and then in the galactic map, when you go to the bookmark, you've got an option to share to wing, and it'll appear on theirs as a sort of purple bookmark that they can then accept or not. That would be a very handy feature in order to pass locations to people.
No, I totally agree there. I mean, I'd love to see that. I'd love to be able to share things. Anyway, moving on from the Galaxy bookmarks that we're getting, we know that 2.1's been delayed, but we're going to be covering that a little bit later on. Next, that caught my eye was a bit of a controversial thing, in that there's the how the heck do we pronounce this? EUCL3D, Euclid maybe, doing full color 3D printed sandstone models of some of the Elite Dangerous ships for prices starting from $29.99, and Frontier are advertising that. Now, I'm not fully convinced about this, because ain't Frontier meant to be doing some kind of printed ship as one of the backer rewards?
Yeah, I do believe they are, and I do believe they still haven't sent them out yet. I don't know what the latest is on that, but certainly when I was speaking to some people in the chat room and stuff, when this popped up in the newsletter, there was a few people that were still waiting for their 3D models, which hadn't received them, and it's just like, yeah, it's a little bit cheeky, Frontier, to be advertising these and then and then not actually fulfilling your Kickstarter pledges. I mean, is this company good enough to sort of honour those Kickstarter pledges? Because from memory, those Kickstarter 3D models were bloody gorgeous, but were they pewter, or they were premium 3D models, were they not?
They were, but they were also almost 10 times the price at this site. So showing them I think if you were waiting for your backer's reward and you receive it and then you find it on a website for $29.99, you would be very disgruntled. But if they paint it in gold and smear it in the sweat of Braben, I think possibly you might just alleviate that.
Okay, so I mean, just looking through the chat channel, I know that Stephen Usher's on there, and he's got one of these new models, not one of the $29.99 ones, but one of the ones from the Kickstarter, and he says that his is currently in the process of being painted, apparently. So, by all accounts, they are going through, they are being done. So, it's only three years late, according to Stephen. They were waiting for a good painter. And we all know finding a good decorator, a good painter and decorator can always take about 3 years, so maybe that's not as unbelievable as we first thought.
Well, we've all seen Colin's attempts.
Pardon?
I think that was a bit of a low blow, that one, Ben.
Sorry.
Okay, so talking about the Kickstarter rewards and having to pay, I don't know, $29.99 for something that obviously the Kickstarter reward back has paid a lot more. Obviously they're different models, but looking at some of the other news that's come out this week, and we're jumping around a little bit here, but some of the other news that came out this week was the announcement that they are looking for information, or they're looking for feedback from the community about the idea of actually getting the opportunity for naming NPCs, renaming some planets, and even having some named surface markers in the next iteration. These surface markers can maybe commemorate a special person, thing, or event. It's something that people have been asking for a long time, according to Frontier, and they're now considering offering these sort of items in the Frontier store. And again, these also can include things like star system naming, creation of a new surface starport, and they're basically asking the community and gauging the people's interest in this particular topic. Now, before I weigh in with my thoughts, let's go around. Ben, is this something you think is a good idea, another sort of a revenue stream going into the game?
I've got no issues with them doing it.
Ticket to the launch party that was more of the key point, which of course was a bit of a false economy because they then ended up selling them at 50 quid. That wasn't quite as exclusive as it was led to believe at the beginning, nor anywhere near as difficult to get tickets because I ended up with 5. But it was an awesome event, and it was just one of those things where, you know, things change and you have to take it as being genuine at the time. And I think Ben's probably right. About £100 is not too bad for a planet name. For a system, it should be a little bit more. If you judge by the current tiers going for the planet coaster, where you can get your own person in game as a staff member for £100, and you can get a group in. There's just a random group of people will then be sort of named after your group, so that's £50. So in that kind of price model, I reckon a planet surface sort of city or town or something along those lines, 50 quid would be good, you know. Then for a planet 100, and then for a system 150 would be probably still a little bit lower than it would have been in the Kickstarter. But I think that's kind of I would be tempted by that again to try and, you know, to get my own system or something. But I think it is dangerous. Although the procedural generated cock rings that you've got everywhere, I don't think that too much vetting's required. Apart from, you know, obviously my new fuzz it is a twat system.
I visit it all the time, Grant. Okay, but you wouldn't have any hard feelings, obviously, having like the launch party. You had shelled out all that money thinking it was going to be something quite unique, and then a couple of years down the line, something comes out for a lot less money. You're not feeling, you know, you're not begrudging of that.
Well, it's ridiculous to keep it. I mean, and okay, maybe some people would feel a bit aggrieved as long as the price point is reasonable, because now we kind of see what it means, and it's nice to see names, and why should we be the only people that get away or with that? You know, it's a nice thing to be able to do. It's a great way to support the game. and I think it would be crazy not to do it at all and to allow it. And as I say, as long as that price level is around about, the 50, 100 and 150, you'll probably find that people who bought it in the past will come back in and they've had time to play the game, they've had ideas, they've been members of groups, so you can get a lot of player groups that can go and they can actually buy their own system and give it a name that's meaningful to them. So I think it's time. I think it's going to have to be policed, and the price point's got to be reasonable. So maybe have small things, like maybe you can name a bit of space dust, something.
Okay, Ben?
For those people on budgets.
Just wondering, we know that we're talking about putting things to families and so on, for deceased family members and things like that. I'm wondering, what about, should some of that money maybe go to charity or something like that? So that, yeah, sure, you may be giving £100, but out of that £100, £50 is going to a charity.
Yeah, and this is one of the things that, it's a bit of a thread, but I did have a bit of a wade through this topic on the forums, and that is certainly one of the pieces that came up, is that it would be quite nice if, say, a certain percentage went to Frontier, a certain percentage went to a charity, especially for the memorial side of things. I don't think that's a bad idea, even if it went to special effects, if it went to the standard charity for Frontier. I think that would be a really nice way of doing it. Another idea that came up quite a bit on the forums is, rather than letting people that have lots and lots and lots of money sort of flood the galaxy, then maybe have some sort of auction where you sort of pay the same amounts and your hat goes in the ring. Your hat goes in the ring, or your name goes in the hat, and basically people are chosen. You get 10 planets or 10 systems, and if your name comes out of the hat, then you pay the right for that particular naming. I thought that was quite a good idea as well, because they have said it each iteration, because these can only be added into the game at every sort of big expansion. So like 2.1 with Engineers, you get a whole host of new planets and new namings going into the particular game at that point. So it has to be limited per update. I don't know about you guys. I don't know how much time it actually spends, how much time it takes for these guys to create these in-game assets. But maybe we don't want, unless they're going to hire on extra people, which again we'll come on to later, but unless they're going to hire on an extra person for just sort of building in-game assets for money, which if it's a lucrative revenue stream, then why not? Then yeah, as long as it's not going to take people away from sort of developing the main game, I can't see it being that bad an idea. Okay, anything more to add on that particular topic before we move on? No, I will just say at this point that Zach has followed that up and said that allow me to clarify, everyone is very conscious about making sure that the naming of things are done in a way that does not ruin existing names. And what I mean to say is that we want your feedback here to make sure that we consider everything. So even though it might seem obvious, let us know your thoughts on what you would like or what you wouldn't like as part of this process. So again, it's nice that they're sort of including the community on this before they make any decisions. So if you haven't commented on that forum thread and you have got something to say, then make sure you get across there and leave your feedback. Okay, Grant, where are we sitting on the convoy, sir?
Right, well, we have a number of commanders. I've just wound up with a Hot Sporran, Vlinkith, and Jerusalem Man. So we're in a wing, and we are ready to sort of head off. Our first location, that if you are playing along, if you're on the Xbox, the first location we are planning to head to from Chalker Landing, make sure you've got crystals, is G space 59-7. It is 11.1 light years from Chalker Landing, and everybody is kind of flying around here. I think Thane is still being loaded. I'll just have a wee quick check to see and make sure he's ready to jump.
Do you know what? I'm giving up on loading because my collectors all failed, and then when I tried to collect up manually, all the cargo did is bounce off my hull. For some reason I can't. For some reason I can't actually pick up cargo. I don't know why.
Are you in a Python?
No, I'm in an ASP.
Okay, I'm not sure about ASPs for loading, but
I'm getting all the cargo dead center, and it's just bouncing off and not going in. So, giving up. I will travel with my 28 tons.
It could be an instancing issue. I'll just check.
Yeah, possibly.
If everyone is ready to go.
I've been having the same issue as well, Grant.
Okay, so
probably it's not just Jarvis.
Right, well, if everyone is ready then, we're heading to G59-7. And if we can make sure that you are not in reverse, that's a special message going out there to Commander Flossie. Make sure you are not in reverse. She had terrible problems in the last one when we all jumped out and she couldn't jump. So, full throttle, make sure you're not mass locked. And when you're ready, we can commence jumping. I'm just looking to see if the scanner of everyone is moving. Everyone looks to be good. Right, commencing jump in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So frame shifts are charging. It's something nice when you look at it and you see that map and you see all those contacts shooting out. It's so impressive. It must have been amazing on that the Deep World expedition or Distant World expedition when they had 101 people in an instance. That must have looked spectacular. Excellent, right, we're just about to arrive and then I can give you the next location or the next destination that we're going to head to. Right, we quick honk. Our next destination is a system called Sharu Sector FW-W space C1-19 and I've just crashed into the start.
Engines engaged.
You are joking.
It happens, the Cobra's too fast. It really is such a wee fast ship. It's so much
Have
fun.
you ever heard of switching the throttle to 0 in hyperspace?
Yeah, as for, you know, sensible people. So the next, I'll just repeat that to the next section is
Wow, lots of people here.
Sharu Sector. Well, I don't know. We're no longer in that instance. Sharu Sector FW-W C1-19. Now this might be a push for some people because this is 13 light years. If it is a push, just we'll stick around there and I think we'll do another section and then we'll do the next jump. So do you want to do 3 jumps and then carry on, Fuzz?
Yeah, absolutely. Remind me where we're going to next.
Sharu Sector SHARRU Sector FW-W
Frameshift drive
space
charging.
C1-19.
Right, okay, ready to go.
Okay, excellent. Alright, on my mark, we're going to throttle up now that my frameshift drive is back online, and we're going to make the jump in 3, 2, 1, engage.
What? I'm being interdicted.
Engage. Leave them behind, everyone. Run! Run! Save yourselves!
Leave the weak at the back of the herd.
It keeps those animals busy and we can get away.
So, just remind me, the whole
Fuel scooping.
big exploration mission that's just been going on, how did they manage to get so many people in one instance? I thought there was a limit to how many people you could have in an instance.
It's the lack of in-game assets when you're out there and you've got a planet and ships. So it's one of those things where it's just a case of they were there alone and the game just worked really, really well for them. So rather than having to keep track of all the NPCs, it doesn't have to do that. So it gave all those assets then go to the commander. You know, so the peer-to-peer worked better out there. So it allowed them to have bigger and bigger instances of players, just because there was less in-game assets to being tracked. So it does suggest that, you know, as technology improves and as internet speeds get better, we might see the instancing in Elite Dangerous improve over the next 10 years, which would be epic.
No, that'd be absolutely great, and I dare say if we wanted to have massive fleet battles, then again maybe we have to pick a place far out in space to hold them.
Yeah. Our next destination is unfortunately named. Unfortunate name for a system if your name is Ash. The next system is Ash Tart. It's 8.13 light years away, so that's Ash Tart. So if you want to target Ash Tart, it looks like we've lost Hotsporin. Hotsporin is still back. He's not even left the first system. Dear Hotsporin, just a little message for you. Are you familiar with the concept of a convoy? Leave together.
You see, maybe that poor guy's got a flat
They all
battery.
jumped in on me.
Yeah, so maybe that guy's got a flat battery and he's been screaming at us to sort of stop and go back and help him and give him a jump start or give him a push, and we just left him in the void.
Well, if you want to catch up with us, we're heading to Ashtart next, and I think we'll stop there for a bit while we do another section of the show, and then we'll carry on and do another 3 jumps, and then in 4 sections we should be there.
Cool. Okay.
So we'll just do this last jump then, which is to Ashtart. So if everybody is ready, lined up, and facing poor Hotsporn, I've got a feeling he's just going to go to Lave and leave us all behind in his wake. Tell the pirates where we are. Our next jump is to Ashtart, so if you want to throttle up and get ready to jump, and we'll make this jump in 3, 2, 1, engage.
Shall we all rendezvous at the nav? Oh no, there's no nav point, is there?
I don't know what's in Ashtart, in fact. I think I've got, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18 commanders on my scanner. That's and a beautiful
That's pretty
straight
good
line.
going.
It's not bad going at all.
Do you want all rendezvous at the Commander Baddie, Daddy Baddie, naughty person?
Excuse me?
Yes, there's a lot of implication about the fact we've just jumped into a tart.
Right, so if you just hang around in Ashtart, scoot from the star if you need some fuel. This is a good point for refueling. Our next destination, or next jump, will be to... He said, where is it? It's on my map. It is to... Where the heck? LHS space 2541. So that's LHS 2541 is our next jump to the next section.
Yeah. Sorry, can I just ask how many jumps this run is? Because I've been doing this run
Orbital
without
flight
fuel
engaged.
scoop because I've been doing it pretty direct.
14 jumps.
But I don't have a fuel scoop,
Oh, jeez.
so I'm either going to need to stop somewhere local or I'm going to need a fuel rat.
You should be okay because it's the same distance, and in fact it should be more economical than your large jumps, in theory.
Go on, take the risk. You know you want to.
I'm sure it'll be fine. Right, where are we going?
This is fine.
Our next destination is LHS 2541, and we will be jumping after our next section, so we'll go and do some live radioing now.
Okay, so I take it we've covered the new paint jobs for the couriers and the Type 6.
Nope, not yet.
No? Okay, well let's cover those
Should
off. Yeah, because I think they're absolutely... Well, actually, no, let's put this in perspective. So the Imperial Courier ones, I think are very, very nice. The Type 6, I think are absolutely ugly. Absolutely fugly. They look like hockey jerseys, for crying out loud. I mean, they haven't exactly spent a lot of time... Well, maybe somebody has spent a lot of time designing these, but they don't look like they've been given much love. They've just been giving a few strands of paint, horizontal lines of paint, and that's it. Give it that, call it done. And I love the Type 6. I think it's a really cool ship to fly around in, especially when you're just starting out with trading. But I would not be seen dead painting it any of these particular colours. What about you guys?
It looks like a cue ball.
Yes, exactly, as if you're playing pool.
Yeah, I don't have much time for the T6. It was one of these ships that I had to just basically deal with while grinding up towards an asp, and I didn't enjoy it at all. So I'm just quite happy to let that one by, to be honest.
It's kind
Okay,
of like his sport socks.
Exactly like sports socks.
Oh,
yes.
well, that's unfair to sports socks.
Yes. Okay, well, I know you are a complete tart when it comes to the Imperial line, Colin. So, the Imperial Courier, I know you fly one. Would you paint it in any of those particular styles?
Well, actually, I've only had this Imperial Courier for 4 days, and I've already lost one. Yeah, I do like the look of the Imperial Courier, but to tell you the truth, I still prefer it in its proper Imperial white.
You're a traditionalist.
I don't know, it just looks cooler. How are they putting this in? Because it's like trying to modify perfection.
I don't know, I think the black courier is pretty wicked as well. Not to be racist or anything.
It's supposed to being interdicted. Is he suddenly, his attention gone elsewhere?
Ooh, shiny thing! Well,
So much for this brand new. Oh, ow!
No,
What was that you
the broadband is absolutely fine. It's the mute button that I can't seem to operate particularly well.
Hit it with the wrench, Fozzer.
Okay, so looking at the dev updates, have you guys covered off the dev updates with the consequences and rewards?
Not yet.
Okay.
Yeah,
You're only gone for a couple of minutes while you got a drink.
And yeah, you didn't manage to cover off all the newsletter. How appalling is that? So
It's called filling time.
So the dev update, the consequences and rewards. So there's going to be some improvements to the background simulation communication. So they state with minor factions, states we're intending to make their effects more noticeable on available missions. So ship traffic and compositions and markets. At the moment, these can be quite subtle. So beefing them up with added drama to make the star system. If that was what was written, that makes no sense to me whatsoever. Does anybody else manage to decode exactly what that means?
Yeah. I'm not going to tell you, though.
Just to tease it out a bit more.
I think, to be honest, a point in reference to this is the current last week, we noticed that the Hutton Truckers were getting hammered and we were losing 10% influence a day in our core systems. So, no real indicator or ability to sort of pinpoint it down, and no particular commanders in about the game that we could see, so it could be a private group attack or whatever. So all we can do is you look and then try and look at the different news that you get in the station where you can check the bounties issued, so we could see that the crime rate had gone through the roof. So the way to combat that is, of course, to go bounty hunting and to overlap that amount, and what ended up happening is we ended up going into expansion, so we managed to see off this attack. But that's very subtle. If you're not looking, it's very hard to know what's going on or how to tackle it. So it'll be welcome to get more of a kind of warning, even if you get a news story telling you, warning, there's a system under attack, or there's been a sharp increase in trading in this system, or sharp increase in bounty hunting in this system. It gives you that kind of head up. And if the missions are then tailor-made to combat it or to help increase it, so the more that you take that system into anarchy, the more anarchic the missions become in the bulletin board in order to help you to keep that going, so it kind of swings with you. That would be quite interesting. And then the current faction that's running the system, their missions swing more against and become more and more extreme. That would be really quite exciting. That would make it a lot more interesting. As I say, I find the background sim game infinitely more interesting than power play. And I think it's almost what power play should be.
Yeah, I mean, the power play one, I think, just needs a bit of love, and I think it'll be one of these things that they revisit and they repolish, and when we get some big faction warfare going on in later expansions, I think the power play stuff will all sort of come into its own, because obviously all the mechanics are there. They just need to be given some sort of some point to them, as it were. So wider range of rewards other than just credits coming from these missions. So treasure locations, various different materials, some hard to find commodities or salvage items, and some particular rewards may be mission only and could tie into story events. Now, did he go into any more detail with that, what that story event could be and what some of these rewards could be could result?
Did the Eckers like?
No, am I not surprised? So, rewards will be more appropriate to the risk, and rewards will also increase the more a faction likes you. Ooh, and the most important thing out of all of this was the fact that the cockpit is going to get a clock. Now, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Because obviously the amount of time we spend in this game, it's very easy to lose track of time. And that's probably one of the things I like about the game. If I had a clock on the dashboard telling me that it was 2 o'clock in the morning, I probably wouldn't do that extra smuggling run.
Yeah,
Completely agree with that.
The game could screw with you and just slowly move it back.
Are you on about time dilation, which they said they're not going to have in this game?
Yeah.
I'm moving faster than the speed of light. That means the clock goes backwards.
Yeah, well, it's one of the things that came out of the David Braben interview last week. Was the thing that he liked about Frontier was the ability to speed up time. So maybe you can do that in a very subtle way with the cockpit clock, just to make him happy. Something else that makes us very happy is the trailer competition has come to an end. The winner is announced for the trailer competition, and it was Commander Not Only Here. I know you guys, there was a bit of chat going on through the week about which one you preferred. I think Jarvis actually preferred the one that came in second in this competition. What about you guys? Do you like the overall winner?
I did. I thought it was very atmospheric and very well put together. And the amount of coordination that Not Only Here and every commander that was involved in that was really good. I especially like the coordinated spaceship launch, which you can tell that everybody told their ships to depart to orbit when they were in their SRVs. I thought that was fantastically well done.
Yeah, the Orca, I always chuckle at. There was a lovely Orca doing the video as well, and I still think that ship it's a lovely ship, but what a pointless ship. But nice that it gets to shine in that particular trailer, though.
It's a very fast ship, though.
Really?
For its size, it's quite fast. I doubt if you'll be able to keep up with it in an ASP.
I did not appreciate it was actually that fast. It certainly doesn't look that fast.
It does. It looks sleek. It just doesn't turn very fast.
So as long as you're going in a straight line, it's one of the fastest ships in the galaxy.
That does seem to be the way with the Imperial vessels, doesn't it?
Okay, well, what we'll do is we'll go to a quick advert break. When we come back, we'll do a quick few jumps with the convoy, and then we'll move on to the main topic of this week's show, which is going to be the furor surrounding Frontier Development's delay of 2.1.
Choose life, choose a ship, choose a career, choose a cargo, choose a fucking big ship, choose palladium, gold and electrical tin openers. Choose good health, low cholesterol and ship insurance, choose fixed interest loan repayments, choose a space station, choose your friends. Choose leisure wear and matching luggage, choose a paint job and hire purchase in a range of fucking colours. Choose decals, exploration, and wondering where the f*** you are on a Sunday morning. Choose sitting in that chair, running mind-numbing, spirit-crushing trade routes, stuffing f***ing junk food in your mouth. And choose rotting away at the end of it all, pissing your last in the void with no one out there to hear you, bury or do anything as you drift away in cold space. Until some f***er comes along to steal your ship, your cargo and your clothes, leaving your bones floating out in space. Choose your future. Choose life. But why would I want to do a thing like that? I choose not to choose life. I chose something else. And the reasons? There are no reasons. Who needs reasons when you've got onion heads?
Ship released. Engines engaged. Landing gear retracted.
We'll do it.
Okay, so the main topic for this week's show is going to be the news about the recent stock exchange news that we've got and the delay surrounding Frontier's development push out of 2.1 engineers. Before we do that, guys, do we want to just get the convoy moving again?
Absolutely, good call. We are heading next jump to LHS 2541. So if you want to engage your engines, get your engines started. Drivers, start your engines! And jump in 3, 2, 1, engage.
Olek.
Cool, so this is the first time I'm doing this whole sort of jumping in a wing thing, and it's quite odd getting dragged through into Super Cruise.
Have you tried the brave way of if you wing lock or nav lock a player and then just sit next to them, and then as they pull away you keep up and then let your systems do it automatically?
I think that's what's just happened, actually.
Frameshift drive charging.
You've got to be in range of them when they jump, and then you're basically you'll follow them in, which is awesome.
Yeah, that's exactly what's just happened. I've just been following Commander Aid Levice straight into the next system, but unfortunately I think he sent us the wrong way, because from what I can see on the scanner, we're the only 3 people in this system, Ben. So I'm not sure he's been
We're not in
following.
the system, Fozzo. We got pulled into a local instance where I got attacked, and you just kind of swanned around, flying and looking at things.
It's very pretty. It's very pretty where we are.
That's my fault. I got bored and started looking at USSs. And every time I dropped onto a USS, you guys came with me. So that's life.
Our next location is LP675-19. That's LP675-19, and we'll do that jump in just a few seconds. I'm getting a message from OMG Crafterer, who is apparently very, very, very far away. Not that I can tell. Is there an easy way to tell how far someone is?
No.
Look it up in the galaxy map, maybe?
No, right, okay, I can now count the squares. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, including me, 23 people in this instance. That's... And if you're ready and you're safe from the start and ready to engage your frame shifts, we will do that. And well, I'm just going to get a question there. LP675-19 is where we are going. And jumping in 3. And oh crap, that's the wrong button. And I'm just trying
Now
to
reverses into a star again.
3, 2. Why is that doing that? 1 and jump.
We should probably actually have a quick update in terms of where we're currently sitting with this community goal as well. So last time I checked it, we were
Landing gear deployed. Docking successful. Engines disengaged. Invincible. Released. Engines engaged. Landing gear retracted. Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1, engage. Frameshift drive charging. Four, three, two, one, engage. Fuel scooping. Warning, temperature critical. Flight assist off. Flight assist on. Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1, engage. Request granted. Landing gear deployed. Docking successful. Engines disengaged. Engines engaged. Landing gear retracted.
paciencia. Sé que pude haber yo hecho más por ti.
Skybet, making betting better with Soccer Saturday price boosts every week. Hull, Stoke and Bournemouth all to win was 6-1. Now 9-1. Down